Alright guys, well, welcome back to 42 Pros, and with that intro, this is going to be a Mainstage 3 patch for the song No Other by the band For All Seasons. So, to get started, if you hadn't heard that song before, somewhere in the description as well as in the cards will be a link back to the original song from the band For All Seasons, so you can definitely listen to that song, and then if you hadn't ever heard it, after you listen to that one, come back and we'll show you how to create the patch for it. All right, so again, we're using Sunday keys within Mainstage 3, and I can't say enough about it. If you don't have it and you're a live performer, you definitely need to check it out. All right, if you want to get a little taste of it, a little mini review, check out the Do It Again patch we have posted here on the channel, and you'll get a mini review of Sunday keys, and it kind of gives you a good layout of what it's covering and what it can do. All right, so the key of E for No Other. All right, so the intro is very simple. Okay, it's just 4 chords. All right, now in the intro itself, there is a repeating process, an arpeggiator built into their original song, and we're going to show you how to put that together. But in that original song, the first and the third chord have the trigger for the arpeggiator. So with that, in those 2 chords, we have to figure out a common key within those 2 chords so that we can have that as our trigger key. All right, so we have to have one specific key that triggers that arpeggiator in order to get the timing right and all that good stuff. So, but we'll get into that a little bit more. So again, here's the chords. So we got that D sharp, or sorry, C sharp, then B over D sharp, G sharp minor, and then the A. But the first chord is C sharp, and the third chord is that G sharp minor. So both of them are minors, but so if you hadn't figured it out, there's our common key. All right, so that's going to be our trigger. All right, now for the rest of this, we're going to have to jump into the software itself so that we can walk you through how to get that arpeggiator built and kind of walk you through what we did as far as developing that sound that you have heard right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the Mainstage software and build this patch for you. All right, guys, so we're in Mainstage 3 with the Sunday keys template pulled up, and I have the No Other patch already in place, so we'll just walk through it real quick. Once you get the bases down, you'll be able to pull this up and try it out on other sounds really quick, because I'm going to show you how to save this as a preset or a user default setting that you can label as the No Other name. And like I said, you can pull it up and add it to any other sound, so you can try it out and see which one you like the most. All right, the channel strip that we're going to be working with for this purple EP is this guy right here. All right, now we're going to be working in the MIDI effects area. All right, so if you do not have that, right click, go to channel strip components, and just make sure the MIDI effects is checked. Okay, make sure it's got that check mark. All right, so we're going to turn off this chord trigger first, and we will pull up the arpeggiator. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Latch just allows it to loop. Okay, so if you wanted to, okay, and as long as the latch button is down, it will continue to play, so you can mess with your alignment and the chord count and the triggers and all that good stuff. So, but anyway, so our rate that we'll need is 1/16. We'll need to have it playing in ascending order. All right, so this arrow up means it's going to play up. The pattern that we want to have, all right, so pull that section up, is a 16 count, or a 16 beat, I should say, with 2 breaks, 5 keys, 3 breaks, 5 keys, and a 1 break. And that is very key, so whenever you start playing the song, the ARP doesn't start repeating before you get to the next chord. Okay, so definitely have it in this pattern, but this pattern can and will repeat in a symmetrical way, so if you need to keep it playing like for whatever reason, if you want to add it in there later on, like in a down chorus or whatever, or a down bridge, then you can add it in there, okay? So usually once you get this started, the slider bar is down here on 1, and you have one specific note that will play, okay? We do not want that, okay? We got to have that 16 count. So click and drag that slider bar out there, and then simply add these in, okay? So just turn them on like that. Okay, you just click the number and it will add it in there, and it should play through just like that, okay? All right, so once we got that, then make sure in the options we have a note length of roughly 70%, and you can play around with that a little bit. Velocity is 100, we'll need that. Swing, don't even mess with it. The cycle length, we are going to play as the grid, or by the grid, okay? So keep that in mind. Up here, mode, I have add, but some folks have seen issues out of the add, so if you want to change it and do something else, you can definitely do something else. I think the other one is through or transpose. I cannot remember right now, but that's just something you can play with as well. But again, I have it as add. Keyboard we don't have to mess with. And then the controller, we need the MIDI controller section here for latch as the sustain, okay? All right, so sustain pedal, which means if you hold the sustain pedal down, it'll keep going, okay? It'll just continue the loop. So now, if you want to save this pattern, you can, and I highly recommend you do that, because once you do that, you can quickly add this arpeggiator to some other sound or pad or whatever, and you can sample it real quick and see if you want to change it up and throw something else in there, okay? So save it. You just click on save as, and you name it as whatever. I personally have named this one as no other, okay? No other ARP. So there you go. Got that saved. So now the next thing is to have the chord trigger, okay? And when you open it up, this is way it may look. You may have it with a blue section of the top keyboard, which is your input or your chord trigger keys. Then you may have a bunch of white dots on the blue section, and if you do that, then you'll have to remove them. What we will need to do for sure is to make sure the top keyboard is completely covered by the blue slider, okay? The trigger keys slider bar. This key, specifically the G sharp or A flat, whatever you want to call it, between C2 and C3, is going to be our chord trigger key. All right, so we want to have a white dot there. And once we do, we can hit learn, okay? And these will be the keys that we want to play consecutively. So it will be okay. So it starts with the good old C sharp, then it goes to the D sharp right there above C3, then it goes F sharp, G sharp, and then to the B, okay? And every time we play this key with that ARP turned on, that's what it sounds like. All right, so once you get that set up, then it's just a matter of playing the song, okay? And yeah, so here's what it sounds like after we modified it. There's a couple other things I want to show you real quick with the Worship EP, and it's just to let you know what the other sounds sound like, so you can see which one you like the best. But so we got our ARP going. It's with dirt off. It's with the bell on. You can barely hear the bell. Tremolo. It gives a little bit of a muffled sound. The Rhodes really changes it. Makes it more like a horn. But for our sound system, we stuck with the dirt because it really kind of punched through the sound system there in our church. and really stood out while we were playing, as well as when everybody else kicks in, you know, for the other parts of the song. This could still be recognized amongst all the other instruments that we have. So, but that is all we have for this video, guys. Just remember, get the gear that's right for you, because only you can do your projects or your playing gigs. And since we usually only have one chance to get it right, why not do it right and do it once? Till next time, guys, we'll see you in the next video.